All right, what's up fellas? Welcome to this first video. In this video, we're going to be covering the 5 mistakes keeping 90% of skinny men stuck and also what to do instead. So why should you listen? I've been lifting for over 8 years. I've gained 17 kgs of muscle naturally, going from 61 to 79 kgs, made hundreds of mistakes, broke through a number of different plateaus, strength, weight, muscle, and I've also been coaching skinny guys and hard gainers all over the world for the past 6 months. And this is the first video on the channel. Cool, let's get into the 5 mistakes. Number 1, playing defensive in the gym. So if you're leaving 2+ reps in the tank, that means if you're just going through the motions, your last reps are just a walk in the park, you finish your last set like this, you're not going to be building a lot of muscle. You're not going to be growing consistently long term because you're not pushing yourself enough on your different exercises. The secret to consistent muscle growth is nailing the perfect training intensity. Most of the growth you experience come from the last 1 to 2 to 3 reps. Those are the ones that trigger the most amount of muscle growth, that trigger the most amount of muscle damage, so you can then come back, recover through sleep, eating enough protein, and come back stronger. But the last 2 to 3 reps are the money reps. If you're just going through the motion, you're not going to be building a lot of muscle. If you're just in the gym, chatting with your mates, doing a set here and there, it's not going to be working for you long term. What you want to be focusing on is pushing your sets as close to failure, which I'll explain just after. So there's really 2 spectrums. There's guys that train way too soft, and then there's guys that train way too hard. So past failure, that degrade their form. And this used to be me. I used to be pushing my sets past failure. That means really grinding my reps with poor form. And this led to a number of different things. Constant fatigue in the gym. I was never recovered. I never finished my set strong. I was staying at the same weight for months, scared of failing my sets because I knew that the week before I had pushed myself to the absolute limit. So my confidence, telling myself that I had to do more than last week, was very, very difficult. So I was hitting plateau after plateau, taking 1 step forward, 1 step back, grinding reps. So this was the cycle I would go through. I would grind reps with poor form. On that, I would add weight to the bar, so my form would degrade even more. And then I would be forced to decrease the weight, and then I would keep doing this cycle again and again and again, keeping the same exact weight. The solution to all of this is the perfect training intensity. It's not training too soft, nor training too hard. If you want to build muscle consistently, you have to nail this exact principle. So this is just an example of the perfect training intensity. This is how you want to be pushing your sets. You want to be training as close to failure as possible, but you still want to be finishing your set strong every single time. All right, about to do my last rep. That rep was difficult, but I'm not training all the way to failure. Like, I finish my set strong. That is super, super important if you want to make gains long term. Cool. So number 2, most guys are not tracking and they have no way to measure progress. They don't know if they are progressing or not. 90% of guys are randomly hoping and wishing for results. You go to the gym, you do your exercises, and you just randomly hope that someday you're going to be in great shape. Unfortunately, that's not exactly how it works, especially if you're a skinny guy. Results take time. So what you need to be doing is you need to remove emotion out of the picture. You need to be diligent when it comes to tracking. Why? Because progress is slow. If you base yourself only on the way you look, if you only look at the mirror, you're going to be biased. You're not going to see the small wins along the way, because realistically, to transform your body, going from really skinny to muscular, it might take 6, 8, 12 months. So what you want to be focusing on is tracking your numbers. So tracking is the key to staying motivated long term. Why? Because you're seeing small progress. You're seeing your average weight going up every single week. You're seeing your performance in the gym going up. When you have a proper system, you understand that every single week you're adding a little bit of weight to the bar. You're adding a little bit of scale weight, and you're able to measure that and keep a track of that in either an Excel spreadsheet or pen and paper if you want to go old school. If you're not tracking, you're unable to see what are the mistakes, what you need to switch, adjust, remove. If you're just going out there randomly trying to build muscle, you're not going to be getting the best results. Personally, I track 4 things to make consistent gains every single year. I track my protein intake, my calorie intake. At the moment, I've been doing this for so long that I don't really track my calories as diligently. I track my daily weight. So every single week, I can have my weekly average and make decisions based on that. And also, the most important is I track my performance in the gym, making sure that every single week I'm pushing myself to make that extra gain, that extra rep, that extra 0.5 kgs to the bar. All of this is very, very important. So number 3 is inconsistent nutrition and training. Most guys start and stop their routine every few weeks, every few months. Why does this happen? You see guys that start, they have great momentum, they're on track for the first couple of weeks, they're making progress, but then they stop for some reason. An event happens, fork in the road, their training routine goes from like 4 times to 3 times to 1, and then they stop overall. Why does this happen? Number 1, their approach is unsustainable. Realistically, if you cannot maintain your approach for more than 12 months, 2 years, how do you intend to get to your goal, but most importantly, maintain your results long term? This is number 1. You need to have a sustainable approach. You have to think long term. Can I commit to what I'm doing currently for the next 5+ years? If the answer is no, reassess. So number 2, you don't have deep confidence in your plan. This is why understanding why you're doing what you're doing is super important. If you follow just a random meal plan on the internet, a random training program, you're just going to be going through the motions. You have your grocery list of exercises, you have your meals, but you don't understand the overarching principles. Calorie surplus, progressive overload, getting hyper-focused on getting strong every single week. You have to understand why you're doing what you're doing, and you have to trust your plan fully, because sometimes you're going to hit plateaus. You're going to hit periods of 3-4 weeks where progress stalls, and that's why you have to have confidence in your plan. Otherwise, you might change something or you might end up quitting when things slow down. Number 3, you get demotivated because you don't track the small wins. There's a number of guys that will gain their first kg of muscle and they'll be like, fuck, I still have 9 kgs of muscle left to reach my goal. I'm so far away. That is not the right mindset you want to adopt. The right mindset is, damn, I just gained 1 kg of muscle. I just gained 250 grams on the scale this week. I just added 1 kg to my bench. You have to be focusing on the small wins. And when you track your performance, your calories, your weight, you're able to see correlations and you're able to see the small weekly wins. And number 4, your current self-image is not aligned with your goals. If you're taking action, you're trying to build muscle, you're focused on growing, but on the other hand, you see yourself as this weak, skinny guy that's always struggled, that has a fast metabolism, and that believes that gaining weight is not for him, you're going to self-sabotage at one point. No matter how hard you try, you might make that initial progress, but you'll always end up coming back to your base level, which is your self-image, the way you see yourself currently. You want to really zoom out. Over time, you want to zoom out because this is a long-term game. The goal is not to be in shape for the next 2 months, 3 months. It's to be in shape for the next 20, 30 plus years of your life. So you really want to be focused on a long-term approach, having a sustainable approach, tracking, but finding an approach that works for you, that you can track, but maybe not too diligently. Focusing on the small wins and over time confirming those wins in your mind to strengthen that self-image. Just a quick plug, there's a free training in the description on how to build 1 kg of muscle per month and add layers of deep-rooted self-confidence. If you're interested, feel free to check it out. And number 4, limiting beliefs holding you back. I eat a lot, but I cannot gain weight. I have a super fast metabolism. Maybe I'm meant to be skinny and my body doesn't absorb the food I eat. I get these every single day. The thing is, if you have these beliefs and you're trying to transform, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult, but it's because it's as if you're pressing the brake and the accelerator at the same time. You have these limiting beliefs that are telling you, no, you can't do it. You're not meant to do it. And at the same time, you're trying to do it. You have to understand it. Guys exactly like you that have even harder circumstances than you have transformed. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of cases of guys exactly like you that were in your exact same position, that were able to gain 10, 15 kgs, 20 kgs of muscle, transform their bodies, transform their lives. It is possible for you. And you have to stop acting out of emotion, because these beliefs are they based on any sort of data, any sort of facts? Or are these just beliefs and stories that you tell yourself for why you cannot transform? Are these beliefs that someone else that has struggled in the past that have installed this belief into your mind? What you want to be doing is you want to be logical and pragmatic. How many cows have I consumed on average for the past 2 weeks? I've consumed 2,200. Cool. Has my average weight gone up yet? No. So what do? I'm maybe going to increase my calories. All right. I'm having a hard time increasing my calories. What can I do? All right. What foods are we eating on a day-to-day basis? Etc., etc. You have to be logical, pragmatic, because guys exactly like you have transformed, and they have gone from emotional, I have a super fast metabolism, maybe I'm just meant to be skinny, or they have decided to find a solution, be pragmatic, be logical, see what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, track and hold themselves to a higher standard to make sure that every single week they're going in the right direction. And number 5, you have no roadmap and clarity to get to your goal. Do you want to get to your goal in a predictable way? If yes, you need crystal clarity on your daily tasks. What do you need to do on a daily basis? What are the 3 to 4 key things that you need to be doing every single day to transform? Is that hitting X amount of calories? Is that doing X amount of steps? Is that improving your lifts every single week? What are the habits? What do you need to be hitting every single day? Once you know what you need to be hitting, that's when you can implement systems into your daily routine to make hitting those numbers and targets a lot easier. But just eating more calories is not a strategy. You have to have a system based on your daily routine, your life, your schedule, to be able to hit your daily numbers. If you just eat more calories with no system, with no strategy, it's going to be very difficult. Some days you might be able to do it, but you will always come down to your lowest level of habits. If you don't have habits, routines, and frameworks to hit your goals, long term, it's going to be very, very difficult. Simple scales, fancy fails. This is why you need a predictable system, and you need to know your daily tasks every single day. Cool. Just one more thing. There's a free training in the description if you want to check it out. And with that said, have a great day, buddy. Take care.